Hello, everybody. Hey, Paul. Hey, Randolph. Hi, Carol. Happy Wednesday. For all you on the replay, happy whatever day it is. There's another windy day here. Hi, Tam. It is sunny and windy and kind of exciting out. Feels very Wizard of Ozzy. Hey, Matt. How are you all? Hi, Wildfire Rose. Hey, Bessie. Heart. Where is it that, like, when you do this, maybe it's on TikTok somewhere, it makes the heart. Where are you at, Randolph? Hello from Wichita. AV good. Oh, good. Hey. Hey. How are you? Hi, Orthodox Mission Africa. Ooh. It's beautiful here in Jacksonville. Oh, great. Great. Got some friends sort of near Tallahassee. Right? And some other friends in Fort Collins-ish area. Cool. Well, welcome. It's Wednesday. It's the day after one of my favorite. I mean, every one of these is my favorite, but yesterday's chapter with Claudia, where we talked about money. We talked about the joke of money, the lie of money, the monopoly money of it all, and about the reality of real resource and tapping into resource and finding what's true in this fake marketplace in terms of value, but realizing we all have inherent value. Anyway, it was one of my favorite conversations, super healing for me, I think for everybody involved. So I highly recommend you watch that one because today is sort of an extension of it, an extension of what Claudia said on my comments to yesterday's live stream, talking about how money is imaginary. And she's right to say the word imaginary isn't quite right because everything beautiful comes from imagination, everything true, and the imaginal is the creative, is the land in the realm of possibility where we are open to what's possible. So we don't want to speak poorly of the imaginal. So, and I've been thinking about this a lot, and you know how I'll say beliefs, thoughts, spells, curses, demons, same, pain, fear, synonyms. But maybe the best word is spell. I think the best word is spell because it really works like that. And it feels like that. It feels like you're under a spell. I remember waking up from the spell that, like, my old partner was a kind person. Like, she meant people well. And I was like, oh, like we were talking about yesterday, it never occurred to me she didn't want to help humanity. It also never occurred to me that she didn't wish me well. And it felt like waking up from a spell. Now it's a thought, right? It's still the same process. Here's this awareness. I see through the thought. I feel through the heartbreak. I sense the safety that's here and the clarity of, like, oh my God, I can look back and see it was always a spell. And there was a million moments where I could see, oh, she was actually harming me. She was actually trying to control me and manipulate me. She didn't want to partner with me. And then it was the same with my father. It was like, oh, here's a story of this man who would stand up for me, would care for me, would support me. And then he didn't. And threw me under the bus, and his ego won. And it was like I was under a spell of his story of himself. And the story of men, and the story of patriarchy, all kinds of things are in there. So, and because the spell sort of to me, it encapsulates the kind of what we talk about, where awareness is disembodied, and it's in a story, right? It's in another realm. It's in the realm of time. It's very much like a movie, right? You're watching a movie. It's a story of you, a story of them, a story of money, a story of time, and you're pursuing a story of worthiness and success, or you're pursuing a story of romance. Meanwhile, over here, you don't want to be on the date. You want to have a sandwich and go home and go to bed. Like, that's reality. So the spell is this unreal place. And when I say reality, it's that the thing has a reference in 3D, right? So if I'm referring to my table, right, that's the word table refers to something in reality. The word money doesn't refer to anything in reality because it isn't real. And it's just one of many things that aren't real. They don't have a reference here in tangible reality, in form. Now, that doesn't mean, again, that imagination, it's like we imagine, right? I imagined um, where the kind of place I wanted to live in California. Now it keeps getting better and better. And it's the very thing that got me here and that got me to the next place and the next place. And every time it was more and more. And every time it unlocked even more of what I wanted. And I imagined friends I would want to have who were very much like me. And here they are. So that's different, right? That's actually an embodied desire and the imagining of that, right? In the same way, I'm hungry and I'm feeling into my belly, and then I'm like, ooh, like today I had really good like tuna fish with fresh cucumber on these seed crackers. It was so yummy. And I was like, it sort of goes right together, right? It's like I'm hungry. I look in the cupboard. I look in the fridge. Oh, it's cucumber. It's this, and it starts to put together. And then I see it's like, oh, it's stacked crackers with tuna and cucumber slices, right? And the what we've talked about, where the mind, which is the one mind, right, is completely tied in with the body. And in fact, it's actually a little behind. It's the servant, not the master. So the body's hungry. And then here comes the imagining, like, what do you have and what might you want? And it's checking in with the body, and we're just rolling through here. Same with the big desires, right? I make some crackers and tuna, but it's like, I can start to see, what would the land I would want to live on look like? What would those houses look like? How far apart would they be? What does the fire circle where we dance look like? How far away are the other neighborhoods, right? Like, this is, I can I can have a conversation with my body where it's just me having a conversation with me. And then when you're having conversation, it's also me having a conversation with me, because you're just aspects of me. We're all one diamond with different angles, one gem of a being looking at herself through different eyes. Um, but it's one eye of awareness, the one singular eye. So we want to differentiate between the imaginal, the desiring mind, the mind that is going to reference the reality we know and the reality that could be, um, to give ourselves what we want, right? That's fulfillment. That's the body, in touch with the body and in touch with the mind that would serve the body. So just in touchness. Versus what we living under right now. The world is this realm is just a one big spell cast. It's like there's this veil, this matrix, this artificial matrix thrown over like a net, like a spell. Literally, like, here's a spell. And there are a bunch of things that I want to go through today that I want to do similar to. So I'm going to present this and wake us up from these spells. It's very simple. It's very simple in the same way that when I did the I'm sorries, maybe somebody can remind everybody what chapter that was. I'm sorry, I forget, but I'm not sorry. I'm not going to remember this stuff. I'm just not going to. So used to saying I'm sorry. uh, anyway, the episode or the chapter when I was like, I'm sorry on behalf of the government. I'm sorry on behalf of your father. I'm sorry on behalf of everyone, right? Because we've been fundamentally hurt by every so-called authority. And we need to hear that, right? We need to, they're not going to do it. It's not going to come from them. They're the ones still asleep in their spells. And so, but it doesn't matter because the feeling of attentiveness, which is the same awareness, giving it to you or me or anybody, comes from you. And you can attend to you so fully, right? So you can say, I'm sorry. And it penetrates, it gets in there. Um, and this is it. We basically have all these boundary violations, all of these, um, all the violence. It's just a very violent world that we live in, where what we want, what our nature wants, what our fulfillment isn't asked about. That's not how the systems are set up. They're not set up for fulfillment. They're set up for enslavement. They're set up to harvest our energy, not give us energy. So the good news about the world we live in, and it's just interesting if you think of it as world, right? It's like a spell. um, the world we live in, and if you think about that Taurus field, right? So it's not a solid world, it's a world. And if we wake up from the dream of these things, which is my job, that's my job. It's wake up and heal, same thing. It's like, wake up, wake up. I'm going to wake you up from these spells, wake us up from these spells. It's one thing that drives me crazy about healing, especially therapy, can be this story that you need years to heal something, right? My father was in analytic therapy for like 10 years or more. And he became a counselor too, by the way, Claudia. Um, and it's just this long slog, right? You're gonna and we're just gonna forever be analyzing. Didn't see any healing happening. But the truth is, the spell comes in. If your father has a tone with you and it implies that you did something wrong, that you're dumb, that you're a failure of some kind, that hit, which is the belief and then the impact of it in your energy field and your physical being, it happens instantaneously. And you believe every thought you think. You're just this innocent being. Your father says this thing, we just believe it's true. I'm dumb, I must be dumb. Even if he doesn't say those words, right? And um, and so if you can be injured in an instant, you can also be healed in an instant. You can also wake up in an instant. Now, I don't want to overstate this because there are layers to it. However, let's open ourselves to the possibility, because this has been my experience, right? I've been doing this work a long time, and there have been plenty of moments where somebody's like, holy shit, I need that. And on here, we've seen it where it's like, whoa, I need a minute because I just woke up, right? It's just like somebody just slapped me in the face in a good way. And now, like I was saying before about like disorientation, it's like you don't have any orientation of like, here's my story with my violin about how I'm in such trouble, or I'm sick, or I'm disabled, or I'm a problem, I'm a this, I'm a that. The world is terrible, blah, 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 blah. Which doesn't mean I don't have compassion for living in those spells. It's pure hell. Been there, been there in all of them, I'm unlovable. I'm not worth anything. I'm not good enough. I'm this. The world is, blah, blah, blah. But those are all spells. Those are just stories. And they're not actually here. They're not actually tangible. And so somebody cast that spell onto you, and it was just the spell that was cast onto them. Your father's not to blame either. You are responsible for your healing. He's responsible for his. You're not responsible for his. But the spell keeps getting cast generation by generation by generation. And so we are here to break the spell. You're here today. Your desire, or you wouldn't be here, is to break these spells, is to wake up, is to heal. So realize that it's very possible to just wake up. And I, like Chaos and Claudia and we're all saying, like, the time is right now. Like, we don't have any more time to coddle anybody, to pretend that we're not in total crisis worldwide, to stall on our healing, to stall on our waking up. It's like, wake up now. So, and that's not to scare anyone. It's just like, it's like if if the Gestapo's at the door, I'm not going to pretend that we have time. Like, they're on the front doorstep. So we need to wake up, because we need to not let them in, and we need to say no, and we need to honor what's true. We need to not be in the spell of money that would have us cowering in our house, not defending our neighbor if need be, whatever is the case. Right? We're not, it's all of us or none of us, which is the first spell I want to dispel. So I'm going to dispel some main spells today and go through each one. And then it's very simple. And then open it up for, what do I want to say? Like helping everyone just register it. Like, oh, okay, right? Like if we were waking up from Rumpelstiltskin or whatever, waking up from deep sleep, and then it's like, here, come here, I'll sit down. Let's talk about this. Let's talk it through. Yeah, that was a really bad dream. that was a rough, long dream. Okay, you're awake now. Let's talk. So that'll be our Q&A. All right. How's that sound? Tammy says, hello from Michigan, my love. Hello, my love. From Chicago. See, I said Chicago. I still think of myself as a Chicagoan sometimes. From California. I'm a Californian now, but also a Chicagoan and also a Michigander. Let's be clear. I don't leave behind those, but I hold all these identities very lightly. I'd be happy to be Slovenian probably soon. I am Slovenian, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm I don't claim any of these lands, and I claim all of them, as we always should. Hi, Beck. Hi, Kathleen. Paul, how are you? Matt says, is it possible to include other objects that are given value, which they do not have, like gold, diamonds, precious metals? Yeah, spices, etc., that have severed the purpose of currency prior to its invention, like included all. Totally. 100%. Thank you, Matt. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the concept of money, right? That, gold, I mean, supposedly, right? The reason gold, this is the lore. I don't know. But the lore is gold became this value because it helped repair, as a good conduit and a good conductor, and it helped with spacecrafts. And so other realm beings came, got our gold for their spacecrafts. Who knows? But exactly, it's then just a story that this is the value, and then cool story, bro. It gets everybody to mine gold, right, for the enslaver, and think that they're doing a good job and get what, I don't know. We don't get anything from that. But we get the story that we're good, the story that our sacrifice and our hard work is paying off. And here, you get some gold in your pocket. Meanwhile, we can't eat. Meanwhile, we don't have bread. Meanwhile, our agricultural skills dwindle, etc. So yes, 100%. It's included all. So when I say money, it's whatever you think of money. So, and whatever you think is valuable, that is a representation of money, because it doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin, it doesn't matter if it's my brass elephant, it doesn't matter if it's gold, it doesn't matter what it is, it still doesn't represent anything real, right? So, and it's again this idea of like extracting a value and then trading it. It invokes time, which isn't real, and money. So thank you. Yes. Because this is not a trial run. Exactly, Tam. Tam knows what's up. Tam's been preparing. Exactly. It's not a trial run. This is it. There's no time but now. We're not practicing. We're not playing a game. We've been told a game. We've been told a zero-sum game. Also a spell. But this is it. This is it. There's no practice. There's no more trials. So the opportunity is to become our own spell checkers. Yeah, love it. Totally. We're our spell checkers. Let me check. Is this a spell? Exactly. And here's the really easy formula for spell checking. Does it feel like easy, fun fulfillment? If it doesn't, it's a spell. You're under a spell. And then it's like, let's wake up again. And then what is true? Now we're now we're not in a dream. We're actually in our body, awake in the world. And there's something true in the body, which is like tuna fish and crackers. Homemade kombucha. Good batch, by the way. I think it's pomegranate. So yeah, spell checkers, love it. Hi, Tomas. Joan of Angels, nice to see you. Okay, so there we go. So we're going to go through these concepts and exactly include whatever your version of it is. Bosby says, embodying my legs, feet, root a little more today feels weird, but slowly getting used to it and enjoying tending to the pain. Great. I think the root, here's my guess about where these spells are stored. It's probably in the root. These are core, like safety spells, you know? So as I'm always saying, where is it in the body, right? So as we go through this, we're waking up from a dream, right? And then the body has also been slumbering, right? And there's been an area of the body that belief was stored in that's been unattended to, right? Like if we woke up from a multi-year nap, we would be starving. You know, there's a lot that the body is wanting. So you're going to find pain in the body. You're going to find, stickiness in the root or whatever it is. So just as we're going through this, do what Bosby is doing. Feel into your legs, feel into your feet, feel into your pelvis, belly, your whole body, right? Soft belly, open heart, soft shoulders, open hands and arms, open throat, all the way out the back, like Doc Smith's talking about, right? Like there's this enormous neglect of the backside of our body. We're all so forward, right? We have such an idea of future and time. And then nostalgia will also keep us sort of stagnant. But generally, especially in American culture, it's forward. So think of yourself as two halves. Make sure you're filling in the back half, right? That you feel connected back and your back and front body, side to side, up and down. And really full, right? Full in your body, feeling through your body, cozy in your body, like you're inside a cozy couch and inside your own sleeping bag, your own meat suit. Feel into your face, feel into your head, all of it. Okay, cool. Thanks for sharing that. Hi, Grant. Okay. Okay, so spells don't reference reality. So we can say there's just no such thing. There's no such thing as the following. Okay? So let's start with the one I'm always talking about, that they all come from in a way. They really do. There's no such thing as separation. That's a spell. Wake up. There's no such thing as separation. So there's no such thing as division. There's no such thing as us and them. So there's no such thing as opposition. Nothing in nature opposes. There's not an opponent. There's fighting, which I'll get to, but there's not opposition. There's not a versus. So it's not us versus them. That's the zero sum idea. There's not man versus woman. There's not black versus white. There's not rich versus poor. There isn't a versus. It doesn't work like that. There's a spectrum. There are poles, but they're not in opposition. That is a lie. So we have this idea of opposition, the idea of division and separation. And then we put on these two poles, that which is in opposition. And these poles are also the thing we put there is also not real. So gender is a spell. Sex is not, but gender is. Gender expression, gender, this idea, it's a spell. It isn't referencing reality. It's a story. Race isn't real. We are not in a race. There are not races racing. Everything's in the words. Everything is a spell. There's a very, very strong reason why it's the word race. It pits us against each other. Who's going to outrun? There's a race. And in this world, the whites always win. White supremacy. So there are no racists. That is a spell. The other thing about, let's talk about gender, going back to genders and sex. There's no such thing as male seed. There's sex. Sperm is not the seed. The egg is the seed. The female has the seed and the soil. Sperm is fertilizer. It is not a seed. Men are not spreading their seed. They're spreading fertilizer. Okay? So we've lots of spells in there. Okay? There's no such thing as money. Money is a spell, and anything you think represents money. Not real. No reference to reality. No reference to reality. None. None. Never has been. Never will be. There will never be such a thing as money. It will always be a spell. It will always be a spell we're in so that we keep being cattle for the 0.1% or whatever it is, which is a very, very old program. And right along with money is time. No such thing as time. It's not real. It doesn't reference anything real. It is a story, like a movie. But if you try to feed yourself in your story, it's like trying to eat the food in a movie. You never get satiated. It's a story in time. So I have a story of myself is not good enough, and I'm going to pursue success. I'm going to get more money. Okay. And then okay, my story is getting better. I have more in my bank account. And that means I'm safe and I'm successful and I'm good. I'm a good man or I'm a good woman or whatever. Okay, there's my story. Can't eat that. Can't eat it. Can't eat money. What's that saying? Once all the trees are gone and the rivers are whatever, right? The native saying. Then the white man will learn that he can't eat money. Yeah, there's no reality to it. It's a spell. And in time, it is the same delusion. It's just delusion. We could say spell, delusion, right? I'm a clinical psychologist. I know a delusion when I see one. It's a delusion. So time isn't real. Where would you point to it? Point to it. Where do you see it? We've been talking a lot in the spiritual world. They talk a lot about timelines. We did the Taurus field meditation, the Earth biofield one the other day, or exploration, whatever you want to call it. And we could feel these lines of energy, right? Fields and spirals and lines and whirls. And they're just different aspects, different angles, different directions, right? Sort of like a direction on a compass. It's like, which way am I facing, right? We could do this with past lives as well. It's really just another. Somebody ever seen anybody a Tool fan, the band Tool, or Alex Gray? Those art images of the head that in Hindu gods and goddesses that have multi-faced, right? It's like 100 faces going in every direction. that's kind of what it is. It's sort of, I'm in this direction now in this life. I'm facing this direction. That's this line. But but it's not my attention, my eye of attention in this body is faced in this direction. I'm headed this way, right? Like I'm headed on the timeline of the whole world's free, and I'm just going to keep walking on this line. Where else am I going? What else would I want? There's nothing else I want. Like, that's what I want. And then everything else comes after that, kind of thing. I mean, of course, there's more I want. I want the whole thing. Of course, I want the whole thing. But that's what I want the most. And so that's where we're going, right? And so it's like I exist on that timeline, but really I'm just seeing in the imaginal, I'm seeing what's possible. I know it's possible. I know humans. I know we can wake up from spells. I myself have done it. I help people do it every day. It's not a big deal, actually. And then we just all march. I was saying on Sunday, like, Empire's out of moves. Like if we would just wake up, like we have Empire in checkmate. We have them in checkmate. They don't have, like, they literally have no more moves. They're sending Katy Perry to space. That's their move. And they are wanting to revoke habeas corpus and have no rule of law. That's their move. Like they're out of moves, right? The lie of democracy and the lie of the United States is the last big trick in the hat, right? Pretend there's such a thing as democracy, and it's over. It's over. So we have to wake up in order to realize we have all the power. All the power is with the people. All of it. They have none. We literally could just wake up and walk into the Vatican, which is where I think the head of the snake is. Just fucking walk in. And I don't care anymore if I get shadow banned or anything else, because what am I doing? What am I doing? First of all, I'm not afraid of anybody. But also, like, what else is anybody pursuing anymore? Because there's no the future you were sold, the story, the time story. Can you see it's not happening? Can you see that story is dead? And that's a good thing. It's a good thing. So time, money, no. There's also not any reality to government or authority, separate authority. This is, it's just made up. It's just a story. What is it referencing? It doesn't reference anything. What does it reference? Cory Booker? No. Does it reference Donald Trump? No. These are jokers. These are men who are incompetent. They literally can't do anything. They barely tie their own shoes. So no, they don't govern us. This is a spell. It's a spell. And by the way, as I talk about these so-called leaders, I want to be really clear, just in case anybody wants to pass a note to Joe Rogan or anybody else. We're trying to pass a note to Tim Ferriss. Really hard to get through to these fuckers. I'm picking a fight with every single leader on the fucking planet. I pick a fight with any of them. All of them. All of them. All of them. I'm officially picking a fight. I will meet them anytime, anywhere. Not with weapons, with words. Joe likes a fight. So, you can go in the MMA ring. That's fine. He can be on the sidelines. We can take 2 chairs. Me and Jordan, me and the fucking Pope, me and Amma. I don't care. I don't care who it is. I don't care. None of them are real leaders. None of them have, what did my ex-husband used to say? They're dumb as a box of hair. So somebody let Joe know. There's a hobbit in California who's picking a fight with everybody. So I'm sick of the spells. And it's time. It's time to go head to head. We're done. People are done. So let's just see what everybody's saying here. Tammy says, I was at the women's group the other night and learned the best saying, comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah, exactly. It's the thief of joy, comparison, because it's not real, right? These are the spells that are the thief of our joy. Our joy, our fulfillment is utterly natural. That's what every single one of us as children, that's what every child just walks right into. They just walk into their fulfillment. But here comes the spell of money, the spell of jobs, the spell of authority, The spell of school, the spell of this path that you have to be on to be a good person to survive this world, the spell of fear that says you aren't safe, that you aren't good enough, that you have to earn your keep, which is all the spell of money in the end, which is all the spell of separation in the end, and division and comparison, all of it, right? Spells. It's nothing more than spells. If we see it, see through it, and we just see this, there's nothing I mean, those of you who have raised children or been around children, right? It's like we love to be around them so much because they haven't yet, all the spells haven't been cast. They're not yet lost in space. They're not yet pursuing something unreal. They're in reality just loving their ice cream, rolling around in the dirt, playing with other kids, never, ever, ever, ever wavering from fulfillment. So, as we're working on this people's trust, I'm like, I'm struggling with the categories for our, what we're going to call the Commonwealth / resource library / moneyless marketplace, where people like me and other people giving away all the tools are there. And we've been struggling. It's like human development, right? And then we have child development and adult development, but it's all fulfillment. It's fulfillment for all is what all these categories are, right? So if it's like building homes, it's just anybody who's doing that from a fulfilling place in a free space, like that's what it is. And so, uh, in child development, we're going to have schooling, but it's like, what are we really talking about? We're talking about just giving children everything they need and want to explore their creative genius, which all children have and are. That's it. It's about 1 gazillion times easier than what we're doing now, where we're testing them and measuring them and grading them like cattle to get them really used to being a spell about themselves instead of embodied in themselves. And then they do it to them, then we do it to ourselves, right? We're in our head, disembodied, with our stories about us, our stories about the world, our stories about genders and all the nonsense. And meanwhile, in reality, we'd all just walk into our fulfillment. So I'm 100% sure of this. Like, you're not going to convince me otherwise. There's nobody who's going to win a debate. This is natural law. This is natural law. I've observed it enough. I've tested it out enough. And I've seen it in my over 10,000 hours with people, but well over that, and teaching meditation and the whole thing, that I stand on business. I will stand on this all the way to the grave. So, yeah. So somebody tell Joe. But this is it. They're all spells. Okay. That's probably enough for now. I could stay here on my soapbox, I suppose, but it's good. It's good stuff. How's it registering? How y'all doing? Should I go back through them? No such thing as separation. No such thing as us and them. No such thing as opposition. No such thing as comparison. So men versus women, black versus white, rich versus poor, lies, 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 no versus. No such thing as gender. There is such a thing as sex. No such thing as male seed. No such thing as race. We are not in a race. There is no race. There's nobody who wins. If there's one winner, everybody loses. If everybody wins, everybody wins. I woke up thinking about the Wonder Woman movies, the 1984 one, if anybody saw it, where they have like it's basically like the Amazonian women, the island of Lesbos kind of idea. And it's all women warriors basically having Olympics with each other. It's the male fantasy of what women would do alone. I'm like, it's so dumb. Like, we're so not doing that. That might be what you all would do. Go for it. Fucking go for it. But women, we would be sitting around and making love and making bread and playing and having a dance party and hanging with the kids and in the garden, and you know what I mean? Like, playing with the animals. We're not going to be in competitive sports for our leisure if there's no men around. If we are safe because our predator isn't around, i.e. men, our number one predator, we're not going to be preparing ourselves to be around a predator. So Stan Lee or whoever the hell wrote Wonder Woman, getting women wrong yet again. Yeah. Okay, so then there, no such thing as gender, race, money, time. Did I miss any? Good stuff. Joe gets a message tonight. Okay, great. Great. Just flood them. There's a blad brought my truck. I used to call Rhonda because I mistook him for a female. You notice how we call all the objects women because women are objectified, but really it's the men that are the action figure. So I've since so Rhonda transitioned. Rhonda is now Trevor. Trevor, my truck Trevor. But he used to be Rhonda. And I named Rhonda after Ronda Rousey, the MMA fighter, UFC fighter, MMA fighter, I think both. Badass Ronda Rousey. So tell Joe I'm the thinking man's Ronda Rousey. Something like that. Not that Ronda Rousey isn't brilliant and a thinking woman, but something like that. Reference somebody that he knows and respects. Oh, also Rose Namajunas, the white girl who shaved head, tough broad. I think a hobbit actually, or maybe a dwarf. Probably a hobbit though. She's a little sweetie. Anyway, so I respect women fighters. LOL. Abby says. Hi Rod. Hi Al. Abby. Okay, so how's that registering? Does it make sense? Does it feel right? Is there a big rebellion in your system? Everything is welcome. Do you hear yourself? Do you hear your mind going, well, but? And if so, I'm ready to answer any questions or talk about any of it. And yesterday's inquiry about money with Claudia would be good because she did amazing where it was like, but this, and then we would just look and see, oh, that's also not true. That's also not true. So her fear mind, which I've been there a million times, put up a good fight. And so it was a great exploration. But I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. That's what I was going to say. There is fighting in nature, but it's not opposition, right? So let's say I used to watch the elephant seals up north, and these big elephant seals banging against each other, right? And the females hanging out nearby. But the elephant seals are so funny because and then they just like literally next to each other and like flop down and relax. So they're not like playing the game of opposition 2 seconds after they fight, right? And also it's not like the guy that gets the girl it's not like he's the one. It's not like the guy that didn't get that girl doesn't get a girl. It's just they just move on, right? So there's not this drama. There's no drama. There's just like fight, and then let's chill out and relax and wait a minute before we go again. So different than humans, which have this ongoing story, right? So I have no I'm not in my story about picking a fight. Like I don't think about Jordan Peterson or fucking any of these schmoes in my day, but I'll pick a fight and then we'll go and then I'll go have lunch with my friends. They're not there's no I got no drama going on. Hi Claudia. Just talking about our conversation yesterday and we just did a full I think what we're going to use is the word spells. Not imaginings, but spells. So we did just all this, went through all the spells: separation, us and them, gender, race, money, time, male seed, us versus them, rich versus poor. Right. So you can see, like, there's no drama, all drama, all drama, all drama is a lie, isn't real. There's no drama in natural law, in reality. It's just, there's pain, there's whatever, there's desire, there's, like I said, it's like yes and no. There's approach and avoid, or not even avoidance, but just no. It's yes and no. There's that, but there's no drama in that. The drama is in the spell, right? The drama that got me caught going back and forth with my father for a little bit was a spell, a story of him as this man who actually supports me, but it wasn't actually true. And I woke up from the spell, and he was just very clear. Like, I asked him to take accountability. He told me that was cruel, that we shouldn't talk. And I was like, oh, if you think me asking for your accountability is cruel, yeah, we shouldn't talk. Yes. And it was like, spell, like, oh, I get it. I get it. He chooses his ego over his daughter. Got it. Got it. Off I go. And this is what I say, it's like, it's not like I forgave my father, or that I'm angry at him, or it's like I just woke up. I woke up from a spell I was under about him. And then the body, in reality, goes and does her thing. No drama. No drama. Which didn't mean it didn't hurt. Didn't mean I didn't. There was a time I talked with Tammy about it, like, whew, that one, wow, that was a big one. There was a huge knife in my chest. And that took, there's plenty of rages in the forest, and, letting my body move to get that funky old energy. There might still be some there, right? Out, to let it move through my system. And so it wasn't like I didn't like, and again, I wasn't angry with him. I literally just cut off communication, just no contact. There was one more contact when his brother-in-law died, and he let me know about it, and I offered my condolences. And then he's tried to reach out since, and it's just a no. So there was anger, there was the expression of anger, the rage, the words that came out, but not to him, right? To myself. I just was hearing me. So there was rage, there was pain, there was some crying, there was like the shock of it. There wasn't a lot of crying. There was like, there was, but there was like, I don't go into dramatic stories anymore. I've been I've been brokenhearted too many times. It's just like, oh, here's another one. All right. And so then I just like, those knives out of there. and I'm moving on. But there was the natural expression of the creature, right? She's expunging the energy of her father. Right. So I was, I felt sick. I felt physically sick. So I was kind of, didn't eat much for a couple of days. I went out and had my rage fest. I'm letting the energy move through me that was dislodged when I woke up from the spell, right? It's like waking up from a nap, and it's like there's a lot of stagnant energy in there that I was just living with, we're all living with, that now, whoo, there it's unleashed, and I'm moving it through. So, the movements, I did a chapter on healing movement. I think it's called Healing Movements. It was just, I've noticed all these ways in which the body wants to move. Very natural animal movements, which is what yoga is. Yoga is just a series of mimicry of animals, which we're an animal. And so I just let my animal do her thing, and but no drama. Right? So there's no such thing as drama. And then, of course, we're in this spell of drama all the time. Dramatic movies, fucking Real Housewives, the drama of sports, the drama. There's always that story of like, women are so emotional. I'm like, men are men are the ones who are having rages in public, who fucking murder everyone, who rape everyone. Like, they're the, you know, they're the emotional ones. And then if you talk about sports, they get so fucking emotional about sports. Such drama for a ball and a hoop, for a ball and a field goal. Like, the fuck? For a ball and a grassy hill, which is not to say I was a sporty gal. I love moving my body. I love having fun in the world. But are we done with the zero sum game? Another not real thing. But you could say there's no competition, no comparison, the opposition. That's the zero sum game, right? It's a made up thing. Again, those animals are not spending all their day spending 4 hours on a baseball game. You know, I'd much rather, like we said yesterday, much rather, instead of playing a game where someone wins, I'd much rather just play. Just play. And so, you know, play on obstacle courses, boys. Play on, play with the kids, dance, make cool shit. Just make cool shit. Play with everything, food, stuff, each other. Stop fighting. Hi, Jenny Marie, DEO. Abby says, really appreciated the meditation the other day. Definitely helping me to feel integrated at one. Awesome, Abby. Thank you. You watched the replay, Claudia. Great. Great, Abby. Which one was it? Was it the one yesterday? Sorry, I'm not great with time or when things were. So just so everybody knows. But I'm glad. Yeah. If it says, I think I'm pretty good. I may not put topics anymore. I honestly, after yesterday, I was like, I don't get paid enough for this. The whole, I get paid nothing, which is not, I like we said yesterday, there's nothing better than giving things away. I love this. There's nothing more fun than giving everything away. And it's not my favorite thing to like list the topics. And like I said, I can't bring myself to make a clip to save my life. I only do those auto clips. There's all this good stuff, but so I don't um I so the previous ones I've done, I've put topics and it'll say that I've done like an exploration / meditation / healing, and some of them are in the title. So just look for that. Those are the ones where we're sitting and opening into, I think this was the biofield one, maybe opening into the earth field with our field and seeing how that's connected, seeing and feeling that. So just so everybody has a reference. The tentacles. Yeah. The tentacles. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Any questions? Anything you want to talk about? How's it all landing? Yes, the biofield one. Okay, great. So the biofield, it said like exploring the biofield or something. Great. Yeah, it's all about, right? That's my definition of fulfillment, includes knowing your oneness. And it's a gnosis, like Al was saying, right? GNOSS. You know it, you feel it. Nobody can tell me different. It's not a belief, it's not a theory, it's not science, it's not religion. It's just what is. And you, as awareness, can open to yourself as everything, sensing through your body. And it's very clear. It's like, oh, there's no separation. Huh, that whole separation story is funny because I don't sense any. in fact, we were having a little exchange on yesterday's video in the comments, and there were just a couple coincidences at least, and like just saying a lot like, oh, you can't make this up, like, because there's no coincidence, because we're syncing up now, right? So we're syncing up the one mind where we're becoming telepathic because it's one neural structure. The noosphere and the biosphere, it's one and the same. And when we open our field, we open to the whole biosphere and open to the whole noosphere, and we become channels. We are already channels, but we become really open channels. And then those of us who those channels are really open, you know, it's instantaneous, and we have synchronicity after synchronicity. And you know, timing is always like a couple of calls today that were rescheduled, and it was just perfect. It was just like, and it was for different reasons, just exactly what should happen, because the more open you are, the more synchronized you are with yourself, because it's one. So that's what's going on there. Claudia says, how do you find imprints in your body when you've been living with them for so long? Maybe you already answered this, but thinking about something you said yesterday. Great. When you're stuck, so when you're in your thought, right? When you're in your fear, so for yesterday it was fear about money, right? You're in the spell, right? And I've talked sometimes about it being like a puppet, right? So that spell has different puppet strings in you, and you'll be able to find them. Where's the cord, right? Where are you feeling that pull, right? So when I was talking about my father, it was so much heart. It was like deep in the heart, right? Old mucky stuff, in the belly too. There's disgust and anger are the two no's, right? So I had access to my no, just like, ugh, no, I'm not, I want nothing, no, I'd say no. And that was no, like passionate no, fuck all the way off, right? And then, ugh, no. So I could feel that cord. You can feel that, that pull. So where is there a pull? Where is there a knot? And it's going to be really easy to find it when you're in the spell, right? It's like fear is a very helpful, because it's telling you you're in the spell, you're in the energy, you're in the false matrix, that field, and the body and mind go together. So if you're in your thoughts, you're not in your body. So where does it feel? Empty, pulled, knotted, in pain? Right then. If you can't find it, if you feel so disembodied, aim for the heart and aim for the gut. Those are the two big ones, but it's everywhere, But so much gets back to the heart. But yeah, so we could just do it now, right? And you don't even, like I said, you don't even have to know why. That's just a really, it's like if what does Byron Katie say? It's like if, I don't remember, but it's like if stress, suffering, how much stress you are in is how far away from reality you are, right? You're in your story versus reality. And then there's a ground zero in the body that you're especially disembodied from. That the energetic vampire that originally told the spell, right, took your energy. And so you're gonna be able to feel it. But I was gonna say, you can just feel that right now. Like, where is there a knot or a catch? It's like I'm, I can feel like some in my jaw. I can feel some here. I can feel a little in my solar plexus and in my tailbone, right? It's just a little less embodied. There's a little tightness, right? And so I can go into my solar plexus, feeling into the solar plexus, and that alone starts to open it. I can feel into my throat. We don't have to analyze it. We don't have to even know why it got there. It doesn't need any analysis, right? If a baby was crying, if a baby was hurt, and you just go and attend to the wound, you're not like, how did this baby get hurt? You don't, where did this come from? How do I do this? It's like, go to the baby, go and kiss the wound and dress the wound, which is to say, just feel into it, right? Don't hesitate. And you can find out why later if you want. It's often just comes. It's like, oh, I know where this comes from. Like we were talking yesterday, you know where it all comes from, but it doesn't really matter, right? If somebody's leg was broken, how it got broken is mostly irrelevant, right? It's just go attend to it. So, yeah. You're welcome. Thank you. Hi, Darnell. Hi, Patrick. Good to see you. Cool. Any other questions? about all this stuff. It's really good news. And spread the word. Spread the word that it's just spells. There's this meme on TikTok. It's people use sounds repeatedly on TikTok if you're not on there, and it's really fun to see what people do, like different people do with different sounds. But there's this woman's voice that just says, "You're under spells, people. It's a spell. You're under spells." So people just use that sound, and I'm like, every single one of those, I'm like repost. You're under spells. You're under spells. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Time to wake up. Like, time to wake up. Yeah. But, what fantastic news. And then we're building this people's trust to just live in it, to attest to reality, and then to build there, not in the spells, right? Build a gift economy, moneyless marketplace, commonwealth, whatever you want to call it, because that's reality. Because the reality is we just want to share our gifts. That's what every single one of us would do, and we do if given the chance. Right. So simple. We are simple creatures living from our fulfillment, just letting ourselves live simply. And it's a horror show, the rule of law, habeas corpus going away potentially. And if we don't have rule of law, we have natural law. And that's what's got to rule anyway, because it rules, because it's reality. And we're going to get into natural law anyway. I just did a video where I was like, I think the zombie apocalypse is here. It's on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's The Walking Dead over there, because it's everybody in their spell. They're still believing their stories. And it's like, over here in reality, the old world is ending. And in fact, ended. It's like, it's over. We're going to step into a new one now, where none of these spells exist, or we're just free. We're just here with each other, having fun, following our fulfillment. Which I don't mean to make light of it. It's like, it's a horror show, but we knew that. So wake up and then build today your fulfillment, and then naturally intervene when you see the horror show in your neighborhood. Step in, especially white men. Step in, protect. You're going to want to. You're going to feel so good. That's the rule of nature. And yeah. Your being wants to protect others, wants to protect people. So go for it. We need you. Hi, Music Noter. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Rightly Dividing Truth. We're talking spells, waking up from the main spells, and answering any questions and sharing. Should I keep riffing? What else can I tell you? Yeah. Oh, I had other. Yeah, I could just say all this stuff that I was going to make videos and Substack posts about. Here, I'll just read these. Okay. This is for the women, because women are the choosers. Women, unless there's no one else in the world you want to be with than him, and there's no one else in the world, I guess it's for the men too, but I need to empower with the women. No one else in the world you want to be with than him, and there's no one else in the world he would want to be with than you, and you know that for sure, he's not your fish. Throw him back. Unless you're 100% sure of that, he ain't your fish. Also, women, if you feel the slightest bit trapped in any way by that man, that's not love, that's imprisonment. And I said, women are fertile, men are fertilizer. Sorry, men, but we love you. We love you so much. You are, to me, right? Although there's nothing more delicious than men. Men are like, although women, I mean, obviously women are the most beautiful. There's a comedian who said, she said, I'm attracted, this is, the joke. I'm attracted to men, but I don't find men attractive. I feel you, sister. But when men are in their fulfillment, when they are healed and healing, when they are awake, when they are in their beautiful expression, there's nothing more attractive than men. Men are incredible, incredible. But I found it funny because most men, you know. I wrote, really tired of men making themselves useful by hobbling us and then offering us one broken crutch to stand on. That's not being useful. That's being manipulative. And then my last one is, so there's just a bunch of one-liners, a bunch of one-liners to write on Substack and make a video for TikTok. I said, so women, I think our test for men is really simple. So here's your test, men. Does he pledge allegiance to matriarchy? Yes or no? That's it. Pledge allegiance to matriarchy? We can talk. If not, I'll see you on the other side. You're not my people. Seems to me as simple as that. Oh, whoo, I said a lot today. That might be enough. That might be enough for today. Claudia says, what about trying to wake up others? Yes, I have this unrelenting need to warn people, but not really sure it makes a difference. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do it this way. It's got to be your fun and your fulfillment. When we were talking on Sunday, Vasu was so good at reminding us, like, if we partner as the People's Trust with, we're calling them the defender groups, right? People who've committed to defending when everything goes down. We're not, that's not what we do. That's not what the People's Trust is. And she was like, keep the vibe high, right? Because we're building the world from fulfillment. We're saying this is natural law. So we can't carry fear and fight and opposition and all these spells over to this new world. We can't bring it. So same here, right? Here I am waking people up from spells, right? Saying their spells, laughing, because it's so fun. It's actually what I love to do, right? So have fun with it. Just have fun with it. Do a live stream, make a joke with somebody, but if somebody's not willing, like if they're not volunteering to hear from you, and you see they're in a spell and they're just like in their spell, what's that saying? If they're sleeping, let them sleep. Right? Now, KS and I were talking about, like, there's no more time for caring about people's feelings. Like, she's going to come on and it's going to be like, right? There's no coddling anymore. And I'm like 100% agree. 100% agree. No more coddling. It's just going to be spitting facts. So if you find yourself in conversations where you're trying to coddle and get people to understand, it's like, just say the thing and get out of there, or just get out of there. There's no more time for politeness, and I agree. Like, I have fun but it's like, this is dead serious. We'll laugh and have fun because gallows humor is the only we gotta, and I know that natural law will win, that there will be a new world. Like that this is an inevitability. This is our nature. And it actually is not complicated. Like we're gonna need to sort out how to transition resource and stuff, sure. But like, we really literally could all just be embodied, realize we're oneness, and we will walk to our fulfillment, just like every child would. So, but um, but I don't. It's like some people are going to insist on sleeping, and so we need our time is precious, and so even though it doesn't exist, but it's like right, like this moment is precious, and don't spend your time talking to somebody who's asleep. Spend your time talking to somebody who's waking up and is like, what's going on over there? Right? Those are our people right here. Right. And then make sure it's fun for you. Right. That's going to be how it goes. So I see it like when I see the shift, I see the spectrum of like awake ones, here we are, and then asleep ones. And there's stages of sleep, right? There's deep dreamless sleep. There's like dead asleep, right? Where literally when you study like EKGs and EEGs and stuff, it's like people were close to death in the deep sleep. That's why I'm saying like zombie land, right? Where it's all spells. Like I go over to Instagram and I'm like, this is just the zombie apocalypse. So I only go over there to harass Zach Bush. And so pick fights. I guess I pick fights. That's what I'm doing. I'm not really harassing him. Um, so the and then there's folks in like the first stage of sleep, right? Where it's just a light sleep, and they just went to sleep or they're about to wake up, right? Pre-dawn. And you can feel that. You can feel, oh, they're right there, right? And those folks, yeah, talk to. It's and let them know like this is we're here. It's time. But I know some men whose wives are clueless, like so many, clueless men in certain, we're all clueless, men in their own ways. And then women can be we can just be, so we hobble ourselves so much by, feel like telling the story that we're protected under a man and we don't have our own money and we don't have our own way to be independent and we don't know what's going on in the world and we hobble ourselves completely. And so it's like, men, don't coddle your wives anymore. Like you need to tell them shit's getting very real. um and like, you know I don't know, protect them, and help them wake up, wake up, wake up. So yeah, it depends on what it is, and depends on all kinds of things, but just so those are your people. Here you are awake to, and we're waking up. We're still waking up for money, and but you had an enormous awakening yesterday about money, right? And that was me just on the side of money awakening too. And then I'm just like, I just tugged you ever so slightly, and now here both of us are awake from the money dream, right? And then there's people, not yet awake from the story that the government wishes us well, or that the healthcare industry wishes us well, or that pharmaceutical companies wish us well, right? But they're right there, right? They had a vaccine injury kit or whatever, and it's like, no, they don't. There's actually the whole world is built on us being extracted from. There's nobody in charge of anything that wishes us well. They wish us harm. They plan to kill us, eat us, like literally. So, you know, gradations there, but you'll sense it. And then it's really, really fun, right? It feels really good to just take somebody that last step or the last couple steps over the threshold, right? But be clean and clear. No more coddling. No more coddling. And no more coddling yourself, pretending that, um, like holding on to your story, right? Like the crux is, it's, do you want your story or truth? If you stay in your story, it's it's a false comfort. It's you're checking out of reality, and it's going to get harder and harder to do that. And the fall from floating in space, telling a story that has nothing to do with reality, it's going to come crashing down. It's already crashing, right? Like literally stock market crash, literally, marriages, everybody's getting divorced. Like it's happening. Right. And then literal kidnapping and human trafficking, and which has been going on forever, and a Holocaust, and like, what more do we need to wake up that ain't nothing in this system um, wishes us well. Right. Claudia says, it's hardest with people I love who just seem to prefer to look away or bury their heads in the sand. I know. I know. I know. It's so hard for me too. I get it. I get it. Um, I've said, like, with regard to the cult I was in, right? Basically a cult. It was a cult. It is a cult. That the door's open. Like, I'm like, there's no, like, you're not going to get punished. You're not going to get scolded. You're not going to get shamed. It's just, the door's open when you're ready to get real with me, to talk about what happened, to talk about what's real there. So you can say that. You can say, like, I'm here when you're ready to get real, you know? Um, and that's basically what I did with my father, right? It's like, when you want to take accountability, I'll be here. Door's open. And that helps, just because that's just true, right? So it's not all or nothing. It's not this, you're not on other sides. It's just the door's open. They're just, think of it just on a path, right? Or like that sleep thing, right? What I was saying, like, if they're sleeping, let them sleep, because it's rude to wake people up, right? Now, if they said, wake me up at this time, or if you can see that they're waking up and you're just helping them along, it's a different story. Um, but you can say, listen, when you're ready to wake up, when you're ready to, meet me here, like, we don't go, if you take the mountain metaphor or the path metaphor, whatever, we don't reach down the mountain. We stay here and we go, you can come up. Come on. Come on. Right? Or we stay on our path, right? If you're a parent, and you're like, you don't coddle the child. You go, you can do it. You can do it. I know you can do it. I'll be here, you know? And they can. Everybody can. Everybody's capable of waking up. We're all the same awareness. And we're all the same spells. So it's nothing fancy. I can't do it. I'm this, and what about my it's like, that's just lies. And this is where I really don't coddle people anymore. It's like, you're not especially, you know, suffering. Like, no, you're not more broken than my friends who have been through way worse than you have. No, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Right. And which doesn't mean I don't have compassion, and I'm I'm a softie, But if you have masculine and feminine energy, right, the masculine is like, I'm not tolerating your bullshit. I'm not coddling you. Right. And then the feminine is like, come here, darling. Rest your head. It's okay. So we're doing both. Right. But we need a little more strong masculine to, you know, stand up and be real. So yeah. So don't go into bleeding heart. It's like we don't know. We don't know somebody's path. We don't know, right? Like, I needed to get beaten up energetically, right? I need to get beaten up, like using the metaphors yesterday we were talking about, right? It's just, life is just smacking you in the face. It's like, couldn't be more obvious. I needed to get fully beaten up to wake up. And that's what woke me up, right? Of these last spells of, like, that people are good, or people aren't, or like, they wish me well, right? Um, and that there aren't people who are lost, right? Because I know they can heal, but if they don't know they can heal, and they don't know that they're in a spell, and they are actively harming me because of the spell they're in, I gotta go. We all gotta go, and I can say to them, you're under spell. You're in this story. My door is open when you're ready to see through it. you know. But the suffering is the catalyst for openness to change, for openness to waking up, right? It's like if in the dream, right, they're having a nightmare. It's like we've all had that, right? Where you're in the dream, it's just a nightmare. And I was talking about the falling dream. It's like, then that so wakes you up. It's so bad, and you're like, oh my god, that was a nightmare, right? Patrick says, peace from Zombieland. Gotta go, but it's always great to see you. Unfortunately, in order to pay the rent, I must live amongst them. Ah, for now anyway. Totally. For now anyway. Don't have the funds to escape. Yeah, I know. Me too. Got rent to pay, but uh, we'll get there. Patrick, so good to see you. Uh, Kathleen says, disillusionment hurts more, but it's necessary. Exactly. That's the word. That's the word, right? It's an illusion. It's a dream. And disillusionment, right? Which is today we did dispel. Same thing. Coming out of the spell, out of the illusionment. Exactly. Out of the illusion. Exactly. It's necessary. It hurts. It's like a big crash um and it's shock and all those things. And we're here. We're here as a community to be shock absorbers, to help each other. But the good news is, like, it's like, well, after the shock, like think of like when a kid falls and they're shocked, and then it's like if a parent is there to go, look, you're okay. It's okay. Like they don't go into a story with them, right? Which doesn't mean they don't give them a hug and whatever, but like we don't go into with a dramatic story of how I was hurt. Kids learn to perform really quickly. It's just shock. Okay, moving on. Moving on. It's okay. That's exactly what I want to save them from having to go through that to wake up. I know, I know, I know. We want to, but this is my analogy is the of addicts, right? So bad, drug addicts. Um, they have to hit rock bottom, right? That's a good phrase. And I realized with some folks, right, basically what I'm doing is I'm putting a pillow down so they don't hit rock bottom. But every time I put a pillow down, I delay them hitting rock bottom. And it's actually a disservice. The service is, and this is where this is the zero sum game, right? It's like service, and especially as women, we will leave ourselves out. We will give and serve, and we've done a disservice to ourselves, and we've done a disservice to them, because at any time anybody loses, everybody loses, right? So I'm gonna expend my energy to put a pillow down for you. I put a pillow down for you. You are temporarily coddled, and then what? It's the next time and the next time and the next time. And I keep putting pillows down. And P.S., I don't have a pillow for myself. And P.S., you're just still a drug addict. So it sucks. You hate to do it, but it's the masculine sort of tough love side. And it's not like I won't be there with the pillow after you hit the rock bottom. I will always have pillows for you. But they got to hit the rock bottom. You got to hit rock, right? I needed to hit rock. So, yeah. But, every time we wake up from spells, like I don't know how I would hit rock again. Like I don't have any more. It's like where there's nothing. You're not going to scare me. Like nothing. There's nothing that scares me. Like people don't like me. What's new? What? You're going to take me to jail? Okay. I die? Okay. I mean, I was talking with my kiddo yesterday, and we were like, it's like the fear of torture, and I was like, well, torture. I mean, again, I want to be really clear. I am appalled every day by the horror show that is this world. And the good news about pain and about torture is that there's a pain threshold. There's a point at which the body checks out, right? That's dissociation. That's the trauma response. You get multiple personalities. Just leave the body. The body has a point at which it just checks out. And it's you numb out. It's a very, very kind mechanism. And everybody can heal. Those fractured bits can come and have a pillow and be healed. There is no amount of trauma that cannot be healed. And the worst of the trauma, I worked with many people with a lot of trauma, is the story about it. It's not the pain in the system. that remains after the fact, and not even the shock. It's the story. There's plenty of healing to do, plenty of pain to open to. It doesn't mean it's not a horrific story, and it isn't happening in this moment. So yeah, there was a study done where it was a bunch of like prisoners of war who'd been tortured. Every single one, so 100% of participants said the worst of it was the fear of the pain, not the pain itself. That's the story. That's the spell, right? They scare us. And that's what they're doing now, right? They're showing us scary images, right? I'm sure there are scary, terrible things happening in the cells, but it's the images that are keeping the spell of fear going. And then we're afraid that it's going to happen. It's like, again, if we see, we have them in checkmate. The masses are waking. It's happening. And it's just a matter of awakening. And they know that. They know that everybody knows. It's like everybody knows. The people know that Empire's over. Empire knows the Empire's over. Empire knows that we know. I mean, maybe that's the only thing. Maybe Empire doesn't know that we know, and maybe we haven't come together enough, right? Because the whole thing is to divide us and make sure we don't talk to each other. To go, hey, aren't we done? Let's be done. Let's be done. The thing on TikTok of like somebody else says some other horrible thing, right? It happens, and it's just like every single time in the comments, TikTok comments are as funny as the video. Sometimes there's so many brilliant people there. The TikTok comment will be like, just will somebody alert me when I don't have to pay rent? Will somebody tell me when I don't have to, just like Patrick had to go? That's all we want to know. Are we done? Somebody call time? Somebody cut the game. And that's my point, is like, somebody say, game over. We're done. We're done. In fact, let me announce it today. I'll say, we're done. We are fucking done with this nonsense. We just have to be done, and we're done. It's only ever been a spell. Kathleen says, I learned nothing from winning in smooth times without challenges. I learned from failing or when things go wrong as I perceive. Thank you. It does hurt, but we are strong in our vulnerability. 100% strong in our vulnerability is it. Exactly. 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 It just breaks us open, The number one selling grief book in the world is called Broken Open. So it hurts, but it breaks us open. And then there's that beautiful vulnerability where we're just raw and real with each other, and our hearts are open, and there's no more hiding because of fear from each other. What are we hiding from? Claudia says, it's strongest with my kids that I have this feeling. Maybe I just need to stop needing to protect them and know that they are more than capable of fending for themselves. They sure are. They sure are. Exactly. They are more than capable. You raised them great. They're good. They're good. And you can just say, I'm on standby, right? That's the appropriate time. They're adult men. It's time to, if they need support, if they need some advice, if they need a tip, you're on standby. But you're not in their business, right? Because that implies that they need protection. And they don't. They don't. They can protect themselves. They are strong young men. And there's strength in their vulnerability too. And just being vulnerable, just being real, So, yeah. Okay. Well, this was a pleasure. Hi, Lisa. Thank you all very much. Tomorrow is Doc Smith back. The Thursday time is 4:00, and he's going to work with the Jing Palace, with the skull and spinal cord. And he's going to be at the Body Therapy Institute I think it's called Body Therapy Institute in Santa Barbara with Katie. Sorry, Katie, if I got your last name wrong. Milner, I believe, is his teacher. She's going to be there. So he said, would you like to meet Katie? I said, yeah, that'd be great to have her on the live stream. So we'll meet Katie, and he's going to Toi Na. Toi Na is the other movements he's going to do. So there'll be some other people to show us the movements, not just him tomorrow. So tune in for that. That's going to be great. And then next Tuesday, whatever that date is, I will be on his live stream, 9 a.m. Pacific time, next Tuesday. And we'll talk healing and I don't know what. I don't know what. He's just gonna have me on. He's been doing live streams every day at 9 a.m. and really great stretches, really cool stuff. I'll probably put my bag of rice on my head again today. It's been great. And just reminding me to brush my energy and stretch whenever I feel to and enhance those stretches. It feels really, really good. So just beautiful reminders of what the body's asking for that we have denied, like we've denied them so much. So tune in for Doc tomorrow. Then Friday I'm off. Friday, take a day off. And probably well, we'll see. We'll see. We're working on the People's Trust. We're going to get it ready for prime time. And as soon as that's live and we have it in its final, it won't be the final form, but it'll be the like where it's going to sit and its general shape. When we have that ready, we will let you know for sure. But we're working on it, and I think that's it. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, Catherine. Thank you. And we'll see you soon. Okay. Bye, everybody.